Hi there, I'm George R.R. Martin. I have been involved in a few television programs you may have heard of. Game of Thrones, Twilight Zone, though I'm mostly known for my books. Where did The Lost Lands come from? It was originally a short story. It was published in 1982 in an original anthology called Amazon's 2. It was a chance to do a fantasy when there weren't many markets for fantasy. I thought, yeah, I'd like to be in that. And I had this idea for this character, Gray Alys. Paul and Milla came in, and I was very pleased that this team, they showed me the scripts. We had meetings and lunches and shared ideas, and I was excited to work with them. Of course, I knew their work. I'd seen the other things they'd done. Resident Evil movies and Monster Hunter and, of course, Fifth Element. So I've always loved movies where you really can be immersed in the spectacle of what's being presented before you. So I do hope people will continue to go to the big screen.
We have an opportunity to expand the George R.R. Martin universe and make it really different and really interesting.
I felt George had written this great dark adult fairy tale, and I thought, well, that's something really, really different with a great idea behind it, which is be careful what you wish for.
As a viewer, a reader, and also as an artist producing these things, you don't want to just do the same thing over and over again. I don't want to see the same movie over and over again.
It felt like a Western to me. I told Paul I'd been looking for a Western. Immediately when I started reading this, I loved Boyce because he felt like a gunslinger.
I kind of felt that from your short story, George. You have two characters that go on a mission together that don't necessarily trust one another. They have their own agendas, but along the way they learn more about one another. And that was one of my jumping off points, was this is a great adult fairy tale, but also this is a Western. And I know Milla was really keen to play a fantasy character.
And being such a huge fan of George's books, I've read everything.
Yeah, uber fan here, George. For me, it feels like a very organic extension of the short story.
In The Lost Lands, it's quite a tight little short story, so you needed to enrich things and find scenes that develop the character, also add action.
There's always that fear that you're gonna take away from just the simplicity of what the story actually is.
Screening the movie for George, that was the most tense I've ever been. And then the happiest I've ever been in the theater is when he turned around and said he loved the movie.
So what are we doing here?
Playing blind rankings with the weapons from In the Lost Lands.
Nice. Okay, so I'll open the mystery box here. And here we have Gray Alys's scythes. Where do we rate those?
Super high.
They're amazing.
Oh.
So pretty high. Gray Alys's long claws.
That's
Yes,
number one.
that's the only thing I could
That's
think
number
of.
one for sure.
Boyce's two-headed snake. This is pretty cool.
It is,
but he didn't.
Yeah, that's
he didn't
number
last
three.
It doesn't-
3. I'd say 4.
Boyce's double-barreled sawed-off shotgun.
3, right?
Yeah.
Boyce's Winchester.
Oh wait.
Oh, wait.
That's what
Are you allowed to do that? Change your...
Yes.
Yes, okay.
We're
Our
misled.
game, our rules.
Okay.
And here it is,
That's
set
interesting.
in Velcro
Thank you guys for watching.
and playing along with us.
Remember to come see Lost Lands, March 7th.
Woo!
So here we go, guys. The weapons of In the Lost Lands.
These are amazing.
So these are scythes. Not for harvesting wheat, obviously, for harvesting souls. This is the Winchester here.
And this is like the best thing about a Western, is good old lever action, right?
Yeah.
And then what are we missing? Gray Alys's claws.
Yes.
These were my favorite because they come straight from George's short story.
Just so nonchalant, I'm putting them on. What are you doing?
These are some good weapons. Can we take these home? You need to keep this. So if you would like to see these in action,
Come see The Lost Lands.
Traditionally, I make full-octane action movies, but also I really see this as an actor's piece and a character piece.
Action and character pieces are best actually when they're both present. We get to know the characters, and then when there's a gunfight, the tension is higher, and someone is killed or wounded, it has emotional impact.
You know, in this movie, I love Boyce and I love Alys, and my two favorite moments are when they're both holding knives to each other's throats.
Yeah.
You know, because you really care for both of them, and you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen here? Because I don't want her to slit his throat, I don't want him to slit her throat,
Right.
what's going to happen? You know, there's real, there's stakes there and there's tension there. And we did many rewrites to try and balance the the character story between...
To find the connection between Gray Alys and Boyce, that heart of the story needed to remain.
I mean, it really, as a director, it made me so happy that the chemistry was like really, really working.
Yeah, I was also happy and relieved. I've never been in this type of role. I've never been this type of leading man, never been in these type of scenes. And I was nervous and I was still starstruck and I wasn't sure how I was just very self-conscious and unsure of myself, but you made it like so comfortable. This is In the Lost Lands in 60 seconds.
A very beautiful, sexy sorceress goes to look for a werewolf and needs a guide.
Right.
I'm looking for a guide, someone who knows the Lost Lands.
While this cool-ass cowboy's walking into town and he's looking for someone who's looking for a werewolf.
And we team up and go into the Lost Lands, which is someplace you don't want to go.
We're running from the evil overlord.
Yes, and the church.
Hand her over and we'll let you live.
Sorry, she hired me first.
Lots of crazy stuff happens. And yeah, in the end, we catch the werewolf.
All-knowing, all-seeing witch catches
Sexy,
the werewolf.
beautiful.
Sexy, beautiful, the most like beautiful witch in Hollywood. Catches the wolf, does her thing.
The end.
The end. You killed it.
This is one of my favorite sets. Everything was so beautiful, just sensational art direction.
A lot of the world is not a visual effects, but I was trying to tell people that, what we had there in our immediate surroundings was great.
We never stuck you just on a blue screen set.
Yeah.
There was always something tactile.
Right.
Definitely a highlight of the shoot was the revolving bus.
We pretty much shot this over the length of the entire shoot because we had to hang this bus in so many different positions.
To be able to do the action on the bus as it was spinning was so fun.
And I've done a lot of fight scenes, but I'm particularly proud of this one. And I'm not going to take credit for it, but I will when you're not around.
Oh, this is us playing a game that you can never win.
Never.
And I had no clue what game it was. I just got some cards.
And I'm trying to deal like I look cool and know what I'm doing, and I just felt clumsy and self-conscious.
You can't feel like a real hero when you're fumbling your cards,
No.
you know?
This is the wonderful Ali Hover.
I was so upset that you shaved her head.
She had this wonderful head of hair, but shaved it all off to play the enforcer.
But she was up for it though, right?
She was. I mean, Arlie.
She was more up for it than Milla was.
Yeah.
Milla would have had her hair like this, but Ali went for it.
Yeah, no, she's an amazing actress.
It's the best, to
yeah.
to do what you love with the person you love. It's like there's nothing better than that.
It's the best. I mean, it gets more complicated now that the kids are growing. Traveling with all three is a little bit like a traveling circus.
But I was, a witness to them trying to find the balance, and you made time for the kids, but you also were, busy doing your job and making a film, and watching you guys balance that in your relationship plus your professional relationship. It was really incredible to witness.
Paul and I were talking about like some of the best times we had on set, and I feel like it was the times when we would all come in early in the morning when the rest of the crew weren't there, just before the madness started.
That's definitely my favorite, the hour in the morning where we talk about a scene, where we block the scene.
Right.
You're getting
Try
it
different
right.
things,
Right.
yeah.
I don't think that I've ever been on a film that's been more comfortable than this. And I don't know how you guys managed to do that, and if it's just something you do on every film, but I felt like every day there was just like zero pressure coming to work. I mean, it's just a comfortable place to be in.
Thank you for clicking on our video, everybody. If you like what you saw here, please make sure you like the video and subscribe and share with your friends who like this sort of content. Joblo remains an independent company, and we appreciate all of your support.